All right, everybody, welcome back to the Luke Z channel for another deep dive. Today, we are going to be jumping into the world of AI.
I am so excited.
There's some really interesting stuff happening right now, some seriously big projects and new developments that are kind of shaking things up.
It really is moving so fast.
Yeah, so let's start with this Project Stargate. Have you ever heard of a project so big that it has a budget bigger than the Apollo program?
I know, it's wild.
Right.
$500 billion, that's the budget for Project Stargate. It's a joint effort between OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank, and this big investment fund from Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, and what are they doing with all that money?
Basically, they're trying to build this massive network of AI data centers all across the U.S.
So it's like a power move.
Yeah.
To keep the U.S. ahead in AI.
Exactly. AI dominance is definitely the goal here.
And you know what's fascinating is that this whole thing actually got started back in 2024. AI companies started lobbying like crazy, but not for the usual things like regulations. They were laser focused on getting more energy resources.
It's like they knew they would need a ton of power for something big down the line.
Exactly. It's like they were planning for this all along.
Which is really interesting because that shift in lobbying tells us a lot about how much energy AI development actually requires. These data centers are going to be massive energy hogs, and that's already raising some red flags.
Yeah, I can imagine. There are definitely some concerns about the strain on local power grids, the increased energy costs, and of course the environmental impact if they rely too heavily on fossil fuels.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even Elon Musk has criticized the project for its massive funding.
He has strong opinions about a lot of things, though.
That's true. But on the flip side, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is a huge supporter. He even gave a nod to the Trump administration for helping get the project off the ground.
It really shows how intertwined politics and technology are these days.
It's a wild world we live in.
Yeah.
But hold on, because on the very same day that Trump was being inaugurated, something else incredible happened in the AI world. This Chinese startup dropped this powerful AI model called DeepSeek, and it kind of blew everyone's minds.
DeepSeek is a total game changer. It's what we call a reasoning model, which means it's incredibly good at logic, problem solving, and spotting patterns.
So it's like an AI Sherlock Holmes.
Exactly. And the crazy part is that it performs just as well as some of those massive resource-intensive models out there, but it does it way more efficiently.
It's like they found a shortcut to AI brilliance.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
And get this. Anyone can use DeepSeek. It's publicly accessible, which is a huge contrast to how secretive a lot of AI development has been.
It's like they're sharing the AI love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that open access has been a major disruption. Big tech companies, especially Meta, were reportedly caught off guard. They even set up these internal war rooms to figure out how DeepSeek works and, more importantly, how to catch up.
That's crazy. So we've got the U.S. going all in on massive data centers with Project Stargate, and then China comes in with a super efficient model that challenges that whole bigger is better approach. It feels like we're watching the start of an AI arms race unfold in real time.
You're spot on. And this race has been brewing for a while now. Remember back in 2022? The U.S. passed the CHIPS Act, which was designed to boost domestic production of computer chips, the essential building blocks for AI.
Right.
And then we saw those export controls aimed at restricting China's access to the most advanced chips. It's clear that AI has become a strategic asset, and both countries are vying for dominance.
So the stakes are high. It's not just about technological advancement anymore. It's about national security and global power.
Exactly. And that's where things start to get a little bit tricky.
Yeah, because the lines between AI and national security are starting to blur more and more. Companies like OpenAI are working with defense tech firms and getting involved in national security projects. It makes you wonder how much of AI development is happening behind closed doors, driven by governments and military interests.
That's a valid question, and one that doesn't have an easy answer.
Right, because a lot of this stuff is shrouded in secrecy.
It is. But we do know that there are some pretty deep connections between AI companies and the military. For example, Microsoft and OpenAI have close ties to the Israeli military.
Interesting.
They're providing cloud services and other technologies that incorporate AI technologies that can definitely be used for military purposes.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. And it's not just overseas either. There have been reports that U.S. federal agencies are acquiring AI-powered tools, specifically for tracking migrants.
Yeah, I saw those reports too. It's definitely concerning. It raises a lot of questions about privacy and the potential for misuse.
It's like we're entering this uncharted territory, and we don't really know what the rules are or what the consequences might be.
That's the scary part. We're kind of making it up as we go along and hoping for the best.
Yeah, it's like a giant experiment.
Yeah.
but one that has huge implications for the future of humanity.
Absolutely. AI is incredibly powerful, and it has the potential to change everything. It's both exciting and terrifying at the same time.
It really is a double-edged sword. But before we spiral down that rabbit hole, let's shift gears for a second and talk about what's next for AI. What's on the horizon that has you excited?
Well, two things really stand out to me. The push for superintelligent AI, which is basically AI that can outsmart humans, and the idea of AI getting a body in the real world through robotics.
Okay, so super intelligent AI.
Yeah.
That sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It does, doesn't it? But it's a real area of research. Scientists are trying to create AI that can not only learn, but also reason, understand complex concepts, and even be creative. Basically everything we consider uniquely human.
Wow, that's mind-blowing. So what about AI getting a body? Does that mean we'll be seeing robots walking around interacting with us in the real world?
Exactly. Robotics is advancing incredibly rapidly, and we're seeing robots that can do some pretty amazing things. Walk, run, jump, even do backflips.
Seriously, the backflips?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And with AI integrated into these robots, we could see them doing all sorts of tasks, from working in factories to assisting with surgery to maybe even becoming companions.
So we've got superintelligence and robots on the horizon. The future of AI is definitely shaping up to be pretty wild.
Wild is an understatement. It's going to be a fascinating ride, that's for sure. And it raises a crucial question for all of us. What kind of future are we building with AI, and what role do we want it to play in our lives?
That's a great question, and one that we should all be thinking about. Because the decisions we make today will have a huge impact on the world of tomorrow.
Absolutely. We need to be thoughtful and deliberate about how we develop and use this technology, because it has the potential to be both incredibly beneficial and incredibly destructive.
Well said. It's a delicate balance, and one that we need to get right.
Couldn't agree more. The future of AI is in our hands, and it's up to us to make sure it's a future worth living in.
Absolutely. All right, folks, that's it for this deep dive into the world of AI. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.